Welcome back, Nerd Shit. It's Big A, host with the BDE energy, and we have our co-host DeathMeter.
Sub to me, by the way.
And we just saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah.
There's spoilers, by the way. They're gonna be spoilers. Okay, relax. It wasn't that good. So we're gonna talk a quick review. We're gonna give you the good,
The bad,
and the mid. You suck.
You suck more.
I'm paying you for this, but anyway, you suck, bro.
Where's the checks?
You're an interesting man, Scott Lang. You're an Avenger.
What was good for you in this movie?
A lot of the visual effects and like some of the shots of Quantum Mania.
I agree with the visual effects. I really don't get what's wrong with people. Like it's like as if they put bright colors and they use like certain buzzwords like family, and all of a sudden the movie's good.
Revolutionary.
Bright colors, buzzwords, family, and quippy jokes, and it's top tier.
Yeah. Top tier.
If all of Rome were one throat. Yeah, the CGI wasn't really bad, but it wasn't like the most crystal clear dynamic screen. It was just like a regular theater, but it looked pretty good. But you know what part? There was a few parts where it looked bad.
And those parts were, my dear host.
For starters, when they are falling through, when they are falling into the quantum realm.
Yeah, that green screen sucked.
And he catches his daughter, but he falls, and when he's holding her in his hand, you can tell that looked really bad. There were a few moments like that that were pretty bad. The ants look really bad.
I really like Paul Rudd's acting in this one.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And some scenes were cool.
Hold on, let's stay on the bad. What else was bad?
There's probably be a hot take, but Kang's portrayal wasn't really the best. Very overhyped.
Yeah, the trailers, they cut it just right because it wasn't underwhelming. It just didn't
hit as well as Thanos.
Not even as well as Thanos. It just didn't hit for me. It just didn't hit.
Like there was some cool
I wouldn't
parts.
call it bad, but it was definitely mid.
Like he has the potential to be menacing. I mean, he's like very serious. He doesn't really make any whips or jokes.
Yeah, but it's just something how he delivers his dialogue and his facial expressions sometimes.
Like he's sometimes doing some kind of accent, but not really. It's like a manner like
when he talks like this. I mean, it's like he. You know what it is. And I was kind of talking to you about this before. Like no matter what people say, well, I don't know. If you were to compare it to, for example, the dialogue between, I'm gonna go there. If you compare it to the dialogue between Steppenwolf,
really,
and Desaad,
really,
and ZSJL,
really. Oh, we're going there, aren't we?
The way some of it was written was good. The actual words that he was supposed to say were not bad, but how it was delivered some of the time
wasn't the best. But I like the acting.
Yeah.
I like the acting for Kang. Like how his subtle movements, like Vader.
Yeah, his screen presence was okay, but the words just didn't have
the same impact, like say Thanos. But
also, he wasn't there's a picture like when people first they were talking about Kang. I saw a picture on Twitter where he is ripping, like he's holding onto Thanos' spine and like Thanos is melting. You didn't get any sense of anything that he could do anything that badass in this movie. I didn't see there was like no cool like chrono powers. There was no cool quantum chrono powers because as they were falling into the quantum realm, I was thinking, okay, quantum mechanics, there'd be some cool stuff should happen. There's actual phenomenon like superposition and entanglement. So I was like, okay, they have plenty of room to be creative, but it was mid. That's, I guess you could say bad or mid, but that was mid.
The action was
the action was bad. No, the action was bad. You know why?
Why?
Because I paid attention. Everything was the same. They didn't the action from the first movie to this movie didn't escalate. It was the exact same moves of they get shrunk, They jump up and they punch. They
It's
shrink
like a
and they jump
Mario.
up and they punch. That was bad. There was nothing creative. I think in the first one they were a little bit more creative because they would do like
Like a guy, like he was running on top of a gun, then like jumped and actually boop.
yeah, like some of those camera angles they were a lot. Well, I mean that was Edgar Wright, the guy that did Scott Pilgrim.
Exactly.
So a lot of that movie was basically his ideas.
but you know, mishmashed.
Yeah. Another thing was, well, yeah, like sometimes they would jump and they would kind of land like there are these like jiu-jitsu moves where they can like jump on you and like get a submission. They were doing some of that in the first one. They didn't. All they did in this was like just get big kick, get big punch, and it was all the same.
I like them.
That was bad. That was bad. That was like 0
out of 10.
imagination.
I like the mom though. She was interesting.
You know what was? Well, no, we'll save that for the good. What was interesting about her?
Her past and how she's like very reserved and tries all her best to keep a secret, even though the other characters like Bill Murray, Garfield.
Well, that's the good part. We'll talk about that later. We're on the bad.
Okay, I did not like how the jokes were delivered. I mean, some parts were good, like you laughed in a couple, like a loser.
Bill Murray was. That's anyway. That's we're not in the good yet. We're still in the bad.
Would you count MODOK as bad in this one?
Oh yeah,
He was like very.
bad.
I'm trying to find very bland and generic.
There's a part towards the end where he meets Hank Pym again, and he shoots like these, like ropes, I guess you could say, into the spaceship, and he's telling him that he's gonna kill him or whatever, but he doesn't do anything.
I think he just assumed the ship would explode. I don't know.
No, because he shoots those
Side guns.
whatever you would want to call it, but like that's to hold him onto the ship. But that's what I mean. But from there, because there's other like when he's chasing Scott Lang's daughter, he's using his other blasters, and he was like point blank had Hank Pym dead to rights, and he didn't do anything. They just cut to like the ship maneuvering in a different direction. There was a lot of bad, but it was bad because of
I mean, he has a cool design. I'll give him that. He does have a cool design.
the design was okay, but it was bad because it was lack of imagination, in my opinion. It was just very, very bland imagineering.
And, you know, his character was kind of useless. Like, it was only there for comic book nerds like yourself to be happy.
What spoiler, what'd you think of his end? Did he die an Avenger?
At least he didn't go out like a dick.
Very bad.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that was bad.
I mean, it was funny.
It wasn't funny.
You laughed. You had a chuckle.
Because that was like the best thing in the movie.
Exactly. So you had a chuckle.
But it was just awkward because he touches his face. But the fact that he's like, I died like an Avenger. And they're like, because it's his like last, he's like his last moments. They're like, yeah, sure, bro.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Whatever you say,
Yeah,
man.
that was actually funny. That was actually funny.
But it was bad.
Bad, but funny.
Okay, what else was bad?
Should we cover who MODOK is?
He's Yellow Jacket. That part was
Spoilers.
that part was actually kind of okay, but whatever.
Okay, but that's CGI for his face.
That was bad.
That was monstrous.
At the end, it was good though. At the end, when he was dying, was actually good, but everything else, it looked bad.
Weird. Like, have you ever seen
Stretched out, right?
Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah,
Have you?
yeah.
It looked like Mr. Like one guy. The guy was like in a circle, Mr. Electric.
Okay.
That was
What else? What else was bad?
What's the word again? Some of the editing was very choppy, so some of the action looked weird. Like when, like, spoilers by the way, near the end of the movie, when Kang and Ant-Man are having a fist fight, Ant-Man gets knocked over, and the editing looks super choppy.
The final climax was bad.
You didn't like Kang getting killed like a bench?
No, I didn't like. I don't know how you feel out there about the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn one, but having Starro die because of rats, I thought was so stupid.
Especially because
and in this, they did the exact same thing.
they used ants instead.
Kang's fortress, empire, castle, whatever you want to call it, enclave, it was basically taken down by ants.
What a loser.
That was stupid. That was so dumb.
I was actually waiting for the moment where he was gonna obliterate all the ants, but then the moment never came.
Him using his powers also, how he had to like shoot one at a time.
That didn't make sense.
That's what I mean. Like he didn't turn anyone into like sperm. Like there was no cool chrono ability. There was like nothing.
Sperm? They can't show that in the movie.
Oh, you know what else was bad? When Scott Lang, when he's in the probability storm, that was so stupid. I thought they were gonna use something creative for that.
And
that
they
was so
didn't.
dumb. Because the thing is, when he turns big, and then he like turns like shredded, kind of like the idea of if you get too close to a black hole, you become spaghettified. Why did that happen when he was big, but it didn't happen when he was smaller?
I guess the bigger you are, the more easier the kill. I mean, there was some gore.
But there's no explanation to it though.
There was some gore, like he see like his arm and leg cut off. So
No, but there's no explanation.
I guess it's to be cool.
That was dumb. That was dumb. Him splitting into multiple versions of himself was dumb. This was the other thing that was dumb, and they did it too with the Wasp. He splits up. It's his double or his other possible version, right?
His other like.
But only the that whole Scott Lang moment, he was the only one that didn't have the helmet on. That's how you knew that he was the original Ant-Man. Number one. Number two, they did this with the Wasp. Only the original Scott Lang and the original Wasp had headsets that they could actually communicate with other people, but that didn't make no sense.
Wouldn't Ant-Man have? Would all of them have headsets?
That's what I mean. That didn't make any sense. Did you notice that? I was watching that going, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because when he's first, he's like, what's he saying? What's he saying? All he has to do is pop up his helmet, then he would hear the same. It's a frequency, right? Wouldn't they be able to
hear it?
Yeah, that was.
I do like the.
That was bad.
I do like the acting. And what do you think of the daughter? The daughter.
She was also bad.
Not as bad. She was okay.
She has a. No, let's not go there. It was very weird because they try to make her look older with the makeup, but at the same time she looked
weird, like a mismatch.
I mean, no, they try to make her look like just a certain age with the makeup, but at the same time she looked older than that age they wanted her to be. I thought whenever I would see her talk, her mouth looked really old and wrinkled.
All right.
You have a
Now,
daughter.
should we dive into the good?
No, we can stay on the bad for another how long?
Like me.
Another 2 minutes.
For another 12 minutes, we can stay on the bad.
We can help
And
each other
only
with
a
that.
couple of seconds to good.
It is what it is.
You have a daughter. But you've lost a lot of time.
The CGI was good. I don't agree that the CGI looked bad. It was just a different color palette.
All right. What about the amazing Garfield Bill Murray?
Bill Murray was good. I thought he was gonna be funnier, more of like
Bruce Campbell.
No, I thought he was gonna be more comedy relief, but he played it pretty straight most of it. He did just the right amount of comedy with his gestures and everything. He was good. He was a high point of the movie. He was really good. His entrance was legit also. And he's like, aren't you human? He goes, not exactly, but in all the ways that matter.
That was funny.
He was funny. That's what I mean. Like he was one of the high points. Bill Murray killed it. He knocked it out of the park.
What do you think?
Typical Bill Murray.
What's the original Ant-Man's name?
Hank Pym.
What do you think of Hank Pym? I thought it was decently funny.
He was okay. He did a good job. But you know what was really good? Save it for all the good stuff. The makeup on Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, because they looked great. They're old, but they looked great. I don't know if they used that de-aging CGI, but their makeup was on point.
It would look bad if they used that.
Their makeup looked great because they looked great. There were a few shots where you can tell that they were old because they had to move and they moved very slow. But on top, but besides from that, it was great. But yeah, like Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer, they held it down. They did what they were supposed to do.
I like the world of the quantum realm. How they do some bit of world building. They explain some stuff.
Yeah, but they didn't explain how everyone. Well, that's the bad. They didn't explain how everyone else got there. But now we're beyond that. We're on the good now. Did you like the designs?
Yeah, the designs were cool. Like I like that guy with the bright yellow beacon as a head. He was also Australian.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
I wonder if he threw shrimp on the Barbie.
I'm gonna beep that out. Let's see what else was good. I guess the last moment. Well, it was kind of.
Which moment? The end credits scene?
No, I'm trying to think of the. What else was good? The What'd you think? What'd you think of the last fight where Kang shows you that he's not? Oh, you know what was good? The flashback where they show how Kang got there and how
brutal
and how Janet Van Dyne became allies. That was good. When they show his little flash of what he had done in the time stream, that was good.
I like the idea of them destroying a lot of timelines, so there can be like a good amount of build up for when they do that Kang Dynasty thing.
Yeah, I was hoping they would do more though.
More setup or more payoff?
More setup towards, like, at first they just kept saying him. You know how he is,
the Conqueror.
Yeah, so it was kind of setting it up properly, but there wasn't like there was not enough talk of his feats. You know what I mean?
But wouldn't that be a little bit generic, like the one that killed Thanos with a blink of an eye?
Well, no, that didn't happen in this. That happened in the...
I know, like an example. But they should have done like they should have shown like a little montage of him destroying the timelines. You're gonna have a lot of cool cameos in that.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They didn't show. They showed like a small little piece of him destroying stuff, but not
like how he says, "I killed multiple Avengers." You could have showed him like kill like Iron Man. You could have shown him kill everyone in multiple timelines.
Yeah, they could have cut to like a scene of like Thor dropping to his like Thor dropping, and like they pan up and it's like Kang who killed him. They could have done shots like that.
Yeah, it'll be like super simple and cool and push a new standard. But they didn't because it's Marvel.
Yeah. What else?
I like the little reference to Iron Man.
What reference?
How they built a little device in a basement.
Oh yeah, the girl builds.
What they should have said, they built in a basement with a box of scraps.
Stop pulling this.
That would have been perfect.
The intro where they're showing Scott Lang's life is good, and the outro where they show his life again is good.
And
it was actually pretty funny. He's like, "Wait,
did I cause the end of the world?"
Yeah, that was actually like, "Nah, I'm overthinking it too much. It'll be fine." That was good.
But of course it won't.
Well, he's coming, but that was good. So the intro to the movie, I told you they had that cheap Stan Lee cameo wannabe. Thank you, Spider-Man. That's what he's. I bet you that's what he's supposed to represent, because he's old and he has white hair. I guarantee you that's what he's supposed to make people think of, like Stan Lee.
Also,
and then because they said Spider-Man, I'm telling you, like those three, him being old, an old white man, the white hair. And then him saying Spider-Man, that's supposed to like bring up like an image of Stan Lee in people's minds, I'm sure.
Only thing he needs to say is Excelsior.
Yeah, if he would have said that, it would have been like a for sure like Stan Lee thingy, but okay.
Like me. We can help each other with that.
Well, there's a lot of mid in the movie. Gonna be more specific.
Like they did a
little that was pretty much it. Everything else that we didn't mention
something
is mid.
that was called the Alive system, which I thought was cool.
The ants somehow
back in October, they started releasing trailers for the game. And
they mentioned the ants creating their own tech in the beginning.
A few months later,
but they don't create their own tech. They create like prosthetics for like limbs that are gone. They create like laser helmets, and they cut fucking metal, and they.
You would think with them being so advanced, they would learn how to speak.
Yeah, it was like super. That was.
It was like
that was kind of cringe. That wasn't even mid. That was kind of cringe.
Kind of cringe, not gonna lie. Kang overalls, mid.
Oh, you know what was also mid? There was this girl. I forgot what her name is. She's like the warrior or whatever.
Oh yeah, her.
When there's parts like when they first raid them looking for Scott Lang and his daughter, you can tell that she's hitting the soldiers and they like disappear. But then when she's escaping, she hits the soldiers and they don't disappear. But then at the end, when she got the staff again, she hit them, and they were just while they were doing the revolt.
Oh, do you know when Kang held up that little thing? You should have used that as a. If you played Dead Space, like you used it as a torpedo, then boom, launched it across the wall.
I'm on chapter 6.
You know what else was mid that I did not like?
It's just what I think of the game so far.
The amount of times that they did something in the middle of an action scene.
This
stopped,
game is
took off their helmet,
beautiful.
Yeah, that was like super stupid.
Well
talked,
done. This game
then
is
brought the helmet back on.
Like,
they did that.
experience.
Every single character
One
did
of the
that
few
so
games
many
that had
times. That
come
was
out
so
recently
weird.
that
Remember
I can
when Tom
understand why
Cruise
they
was like
put it on
supposed to be
older
Iron Man and he was
generations.
complaining
Hardware.
about how
The
would
Ishimura
they
has
see their
never looked
face?
more
Yeah,
detailed.
exactly.
It was
Same
exactly
goes
like
with
that.
Necromorphs
Exactly.
and the many. And I do
Yeah,
mean
that was
many
really dumb
suits
because
that
like there's a part where
Malfreeder
his daughter's
Isaac
getting chased by
Clarke
MODOK.
has.
She's
But
running,
graphics
becoming
can only
small.
take
She has the
horror
helmet on.
games so far.
Then she
I
becomes
think we
big
should
and she
slash
pops
our
the
way
helmet off
into
Only
horror,
reason
to see
shall
to see
we?
her daughter and
Now,
to see her dad
let's
and
talk
go,
about the most
Dad.
important part
The
of a
only
horror
reason
game.
is because the
The
actor
horror
the actors need more
itself.
exposure.
If you're wearing headphones,
That's dumb
it does
though.
a
Like
very
you couldn't.
damn good job.
That's
Wearing
when acting with
headphones
their
when you
eyes
play
comes
this
in.
game.
Like all you
Oh,
need is their
yes,
eyes
the
and their
horror.
brows to be visible.
In my opinion,
And they scrunch their
most of
face
the
up and you're gonna be able to
horror
see
I would
the
consider to
emotion
be
on their
scary
face.
comes
Well,
from the
acting
excellent
is harder
sound
when you can't
and the
use your
atmosphere.
entire face. So
Example of this.
That's what I mean.
is
That's-
I'm gonna be
that's what they're
calling the
supposed
Fuse
to
system
do.
because I can't
As
think
a director,
of any other
yeah,
name
zoom
for
in
it. And
to
I'm
the
too
helmets
lazy to search up the real name
and
for it.
through
You see
the
a system
little
during later
whatever
parts of
glass
the
window
game.
parts that are
Example of
orange
this
or
would
red
be
or
the
whatever
later
or
half
green.
of chapter
You can
3.
see their
You see
eyes, you
some
can see
fuses.
their brow, and that's where
And you
that's
have
where
to
the acting
divert
comes.
power from the
there's some
lights
cool
or the
moments
light
of that
support
man,
system
like how
to
serious he
fuel
was
eventually.
about taking
And
out.
since I
Kang.
personally hate being on a timer,
Yeah, he was
I
actually a
chose to turn
hero.
off the lights.
That was cool.
And man, it's so
Yeah,
packed.
That wasn't mid. That was
Hearing
actually
the
cool.
scratches
I
on
like how
walls.
smug he was with him
Whispers
being
from
like
unknown source.
the
The
book thing.
footsteps of a
And him
nearby
actually
necromorph.
inspiring.
And when they finally notice
hype
you would
him a little
scream,
bit 'cause he
it's
could
so
read his
alarming.
book.
Especially
Every
if
damn
you have your
word.
headphones
And
at
inspiring
max
his daughter. That was
volume.
actually
Then you
cool. That was
panic,
in it.
not
That was
knowing
actually.
where their
That was
exact
well
location
handled.
is.
That I had said that
So
like
you
if
have
they
to
let him be
rely
a
on what
hero, the
side
movie
you
will
heard the
be.
sounds
And actually
from.
let him be a hero. So it was
Then
good.
boom.
Yeah,
What do you think of the
More of them
relationship
appear
between
and it
father
attacks you.
and father and
Such a
daughter?
rush of emotions.
it was good. It didn't make him like a
that's the
complete
type of horror I
freaking
love.
Homer Simpson or
In more simpler
what's his
words,
face?
it's not what
Peter.
It's not
They didn't,
the
they
darkness
didn't
that
make him like
scares me.
completely
It's
like
the
that. It was
fear of
actually
not
like a
knowing.
nice relationship. I was wondering how they were
And
gonna
the
do that. If it was
atmosphere
gonna be like
is
a total
so good.
loser, but it was actually
For
nice.
example,
That was refreshing.
Ishimura
It was
is very
well balanced.
haunted. It's
Yeah,
old,
that was good.
decaying. Many of the lights stopped working. There's
Let's
sometimes
see.
fog
Compared
that
to
hides
the
presence
Ant-Man
of the
trilogy,
necromorphs.
would this?
An example
Well,
this would
how
be in
would you
chapter
rank this
2.
It's better than part 2, and not as good as part 1.
And the
Anything's
whispers I
better than
mentioned,
part 2, Brock.
all the times
All right.
they try to tell you.
So
make
if
a
you want to
whole.
watch, I
and
think
the
that's it.
graffiti
Let's give
that
our
adds
scores.
a lot of good
I'll
world
give
building
it
and
a
shows the
high
decreased
6
insanity of the crew
because of
inside
some
the
visual
Ishimura.
shots, but that's it. A high
Some
6.
pretty good audio.
I would
and
give it
text
a 5 or a
logs. And you want
6.
to
It
know
was
more
pretty mid
about
for
the
me.
Church of Science,
At least, well,
Scientology,
to give it credit, it's not as
Unitology.
bad as the reviewers
May
say.
Altman be
I'll give you
praised.
that. It's not as bad as the
Also,
critics
the
say.
most important
No,
part
but
of
it
the
is
horror game,
boring,
besides
but it's
the
still
horror, is the game
more
entertaining.
entertaining than
Before.
Captain Marvel.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or
Shut the fuck up. Know your fucking place, trash.
It's not as good. It's not as good as Multiverse of Madness. Was it better than Shang-Chi?
No, Shang-Chi had awesome action.
Yeah, I really liked the dad, the Mandarin. He whipped.
Yeah,
ass.
exactly. The Mandarin was a better villain than goddamn King.
He
Who was
spanked-
supposed to be the Thanos of his
He spanked
face.
them boys. What'd you think of the end credit scenes?
They could be good setup if they handle it correctly in Phase 5. But yet again,
Did it kind of reek of like
Gladiator.
them not knowing exactly what to do?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the Phase 4 as a whole has been very except for Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, and take Doctor Strange.
Till next time.
Sub to my YouTube. You better post a picture of that, you better.
We out.